Good morning, everyone. Today is May the 26th, 2021. This is StockCast, your pre-market show. My name is James Mason. With me is the infamous Todd Derby. Yay.
Good morning. Good morning. How's everyone doing today?
All right.
Let's respond to some of these funny comments. Oh my gosh.
All right. Let's do this. So pre-market, the Dow Jones is currently up 82 points. The S&P 500 is up 13 3/4 points. And we're going to need a little more bullish momentum to keep this thing going today, or it is just going to get choppy and pull back. So let's just go ahead and get into it. If you guys don't know by now, we have started up a new segment for StockCast called Mail Call. You can just call the number at the bottom of your screen, 615-981-4715, and ask us, not call it, I think I said call it, text us. Don't call me. Send a text asking the question about stocks related stuff. I don't know. Ask about Todd. And if it's a decent answer or question, whatever, we will do our best to answer it for y'all. So let's go.
We'll make something up.
Yeah, we'll make something up. That
sounds better.
Yeah, well, if I don't know the answer, I'll text Todd and he'll Google it for me and he'll talk about it like he's an expert.
Yeah, so when you hear my keys tapping in the background, you know what's going down.
All right. So yesterday, sorry about skipping StockCast. I had to sleep. I was up all night building some stuff. Like not like a shed or a clubhouse or nothing, like building stuff.
Like a swing set for Ilana.
No. Stock trading.
I know.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into this. Pull some charts right here. And the first question is, we'll talk about AMC in a second. Our first ticker is MOXC. And all right. So the question was, I entered MOXC short yesterday. What are my overall thoughts on it? Also, can I explain how to calculate hard to borrow interest? Is it calculated daily, weekly, whatever it may be? So I'll start off with hard to borrow short interest. It's going to be dependent on your broker to start with. And there's going to be not only hard to borrow interest, but there's going to be other fees involved with it as well. And again, that's going to be dependent on your broker and the clearinghouses that they use to get those shorts for you to be able to short with. So that rate is actually calculated on an annual basis. And when people talk about the short interest being, well, I mean, not the short interest, the hard to borrow interest on it being like 100 and some odd %, they try to make it sound like it's just so astronomical and that the shorts are just paying out the ass for this stuff. They're not. All these people who try to scream, oh, ha, 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 the shorts are paying 150% interest, and it's just costing them more in interest than what they'll make. That's not how this even works. Literally, we're talking freaking pennies. If you dig into your brokers, and obviously I can't really give out any numbers here because every broker is going to be different. And I know someone's going to be like, oh, well, James said this. And your broker's going to be like, who the hell is James?
You mean that, James?
Yeah. So obviously I'm not going to throw out any numbers because a lot of y'all tend to take stuff literally to heart. But there's so many variables that's going to come into place to determine how much that will actually cost you. But overall, we're talking pennies when it's all said and done for that interest. It's very small. So yeah, for whatever reason, retail traders tend to get caught up in the whole hype of, oh, the bears can't afford to short this, and that's stupid to say.
I thought maybe the question was more towards fees associated with short locates.
Yeah, hard to borrow interest.
Okay,
That's what I'm talking about.
Because it's interesting. I pulled up 4 quick tickers while you're chatting there. MOXC, the one he's talked about, my broker has as a premium borrow, and it's 7 cents today.
Yeah, that's for the locates.
Yep, for the locates.
Mm-hmm.
And then AMC, which is one of them we're going to talk about, is a hard to borrow, but it's only 2.5 cents today.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at another ticker we're going to talk about, MBRV. It's a premium borrow, but it's 0.006 cents. So I always find it interesting that the premium borrow, hard to borrow, and how they calculate the fees. That part I have not figured out.
So that is actually also another thing that's dependent per broker based on how many shares they can get their hands on to short with. And it's literally just supply and demand. Kind of like how basically for each broker, it would be kind of like how a company has the total amount of outstanding shares.
Yep.
There's only so many shares daily that they have access to for, their locates. And the more that are bought up, the higher that premium becomes.
Got it.
So, yeah, there's when you start getting into like fees associated with like shorting, anywhere from hard to borrow interest to locate fees to just any kind of clearinghouse fee. I mean, the list can just go on, and that's just the way it is. That's all there is to really say about it. It's just the way it is. So yeah, it's there's no exact answer because every broker is different. That's just a short answer, no pun intended. So my personal opinion on this, let's see. It is about due for it to pull back pretty decently, but let me check up on some information really quick. MOXC. So last update on their short interest was 88,000 shares being shorted, so literally nothing, but it's going to go up the next time they report. Shares outstanding, 19.4 million. The float will run it up to 9.5 million. So this thing was a super low float. We're to the point here that, yes, it is extremely just overbought, but that doesn't 100% constitute a setup to actually short it. When you do see a setup like this that is literally just an arrow or a straight line going up on the chart, especially on the daily chart, the one thing that you have to watch out for is these things to start gapping up. And when I say gapping up, I mean like short squeezing the hell out of everyone else who tried to start shorting like right here, and it kept going up more. And these things will short squeeze in the middle of the night when a lot of people can't even get out of their trades. And by the time the pre-market rolls around the next morning, they can start gapping up like 5-10 points. And that's when it freaking destroys lives. So that's what you have to watch out for when you're doing this, when you're swing trading it as well. It's very, very dangerous to swing trade something like this to the short side with shares. I mean, even if you have, let's just say you took 1,000 shares short, and we'll just go up to high right here, 1,000 shares short at, we'll just round it up to 20 for easy math. You take 1,000 shares short at $20, so your market value short is $20,000 overall. And you want it to go down so you can make money. But with 1,000 shares, if that thing gapped up 5-10 points, obviously you're going to be in the hole $5,000-$10,000. And if you want to look back at some charts to where like the shorts just got crushed, look back at BPTH on the daily chart over the last like 3 years, and look at Kodak as well, especially last year for Kodak. You'll see what I mean. So that's what's extremely dangerous about shorting with shares and swing trading. Like, even though this is extremely overbought, this is a dangerous situation to really take share short, because you just never know what can happen here. I mean, hell, if they came out and released the catalyst when you couldn't even cover on your short, goodbye. That's all I can say. You now have a new life, and it ain't gonna be good. So that's just my opinion on ticker MOXC. And let's go ahead and hit the next one. Hold on a second. All right. So the next one. What do I think about SNMP still running back to $1? Let's pull it up on the chart. So this company, I mean, we traded this a few times already. This company, this is the daily chart right here for SNMP. They have no choice but to get back over $1. And they're not going to risk getting delisted. Now, that doesn't mean to say that it can't go down to, 20, 30 cents. But what I'm saying is, these companies, to stay trading on, the large exchanges like NASDAQ, New York Stock Exchange, whatever it may be, they don't want to risk getting delisted and pushed down, to an exchange where they have less investors. That it would just crush them and being able to operate and raise money as a company. So these companies will literally do whatever they can to get their stock price back up. And I mean, we haven't been under $1 for that long here on SNMP. So they actually have 30 business days to stay under $1 before they get the notice of, delisting, and they have to report back to whatever exchange it may be, explaining their plan on how they're going to get back over $1. And then they actually, depending on the exchange tends to give them 180 days to, make that happen. And again, like I said, these companies, they'll do whatever they can to remain compliant. Like, they have no choice. But looking at SNMP on the daily chart, you can see this wedge right here. And I do expect it to trade within this entire channel between 63 cents on up to possibly $1.30. We'll just round it up to $1.35. Just kind of shop around in this range until we start breaking through this little, descending line right here on the chart. And then at that point, theoretically, based off of a technical setup, we should start breaking out and pushing up overall in the daily chart and make a bullish run. Again, you just never know what can happen in the stock market. That's just a technical perspective here. And a company can always release some news to just rain all over your parade. But I do expect SNMP to hold in this channel and to break out and make a run in the future. And so I feel pretty positive about it overall. All right, let's see. What else do we have?
You want to talk about AMC real quick?
Yeah, let's hit AMC. All right, AMC. So, against all odds, I did decide to alert this one the other day. And the first day, it actually did break out and it went up some, and then it pulled back. And obviously, yesterday, it made that strong push up. And pre-market, we're up more. So we're currently up to $17.80 pre-market, which is right here. You can probably barely see that little dash line. But where this thing starts getting very, very critical is if we get to the point that we're breaking above $20.40, man, I hate to say it, but damn, AMC might do a short squeeze. I freaking hate to say it.
Yeah, let me cue it up. To the moon. To the moon.
So last update for shares short, 73.8 million shares being short, almost 18% of the float. Shares outstanding 450 points. Well, we'll just round it up. 450.3 million shares outstanding, and the float is 417.7 million shares. So that is a ton of shares, first off. But it's gonna take a lot of people really getting on board here, and a lot of the hedge funds really getting squeezed. Now you got to think, this hedge funds have ganged up, and you're not going to beat them in the end. Everybody might scream short squeeze in the end, thinking that they destroyed the hedge funds. If it does push up, that won't be the case. What will actually happen is those hedge funds will go short, or they are short now. They'll cover and then just go long, help push it up, let the apes from Wall Street bets, declare their victory and let this thing go up to wherever it may go, and then hammer it. These guys won't be beat again. That's for sure. So just remember that, you have to really think. One, to pull off something like GameStop, how that happened. It's really been so long since something has been coordinated to that level in the stock market on the retail side that the chances of it actually happening again within a short period of time are slim to none. And, like I just said, Wall Street is just not going to let this slide. They're not going to lose 2 times within a couple months. They will come out on top. They will win this one in the end.
Well, part of the GameStop situation was the hedge funds. Some of the hedge funds joined the retail movement, and they beat up some other hedge funds with their positions. So for GameStop to repeat, that was a perfect storm to everything to come together, and to repeat that, like you said, is going to be incredibly hard to get all those players lined up, all pushing the button at the same time to make it happen again.
Mm-hmm. Well, also too, they've always had these tools, but they never really utilized them until after the whole GameStop saga. But they are staying on top of social sentiment, and anytime there are people starting to write about a stock, their algorithms, it's picking it up. It can literally pick up, what exactly what they're saying, and they have programs that can literally break it down into whatever format that they want to extract certain information to know what ranges the retail trader is going to trade in. And then also too, on their side, they can see just people's orders in general as they sit in their account.
I saw something last week. I can't remember where I saw it, but it literally posted the top 20 tickers that were being social media talked about. And it was interesting to know that type of tool is available for the hedge funds so that they know when something's being organized or trying to be organized.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can get access to it as well. Obviously, it's not going to be as good as what Wall Street has, but it's literally just collecting data around the web. Yeah. I know with Twitter, you can sign a contract with Twitter and extract all that information directly, like real time. And that's what Bloomberg has actually been doing it for years. Can't remember what they call it, but they have this little social velocity tool. Yes, they have this little tool called social velocity on the Bloomberg terminal, and it's literally just everything that comes across Twitter. But now they're digging into Discord like hardcore, and they're capitalizing on them tools. So you just have to watch out for that. But AMC, if this thing would break above 2040, I mean, it really could push up and really squeeze out to, man, let's go back here on the daily chart. Anywhere from 25 on up to about 29, in my opinion.
Well, I'm reading it's going to go to 1,000. So
yeah, this shit ain't going to go to 1,000. And if I end up being wrong, then whatever. If it goes 1,000, I'll short it at 1,000.
Exactly. Put a short order.
Yeah, one share.
Please go to 1,000.
Yeah, take your one share and write it all the way down. All right. So one that I want to talk about real quickly today is ticker NBRV. So November Bravo Romeo Victor. NBRV. So last update for short interest, 2.5 million shares being shorted, 10% of the float, days to cover 1.2, shares outstanding, 34.8 million shares outstanding, the float 24.8. And yesterday after hours, they released their positive top line results or top line data results yesterday after hours. So let's look at the 5-minute chart first. We can see that push up yesterday, and then pre-market had that quick little push up. In the range I'm actually watching for, and not today. This is the biggest. If you take anything from this right here, if this breaks out today, this is no go. No. I'm looking for this in the future. And the reason why I say this, there are a lot of big groups right now, bearish groups, that are shorting the hell out of this. But in the future, from May 27th, not today, tomorrow, May 27th and forward, I want to see this thing break above 265 for an entry. Now, here we are on the daily chart. If you look at 265, in the future, if we break above 265, we do stand a good chance actually breaking above that 200 EMA, which currently at this point, that EMA is valued at $3.84. The market also hasn't opened yet, so keep that in mind. That hasn't updated. And in the future, this value will change slightly. But that would be one target price. And then if we break above that on the daily chart, we could, for this first run, above the 200 EMA. And you got to think we've been a long time since we got above that 200 EMA. So we're going to have this quick little run at some point in the future above that 200 EMA. And I'm kind of looking for it to get up to around this lower $6 range. Well, hold on. Let me back down just a little bit. This upper $4.75 range to possibly this lower $6 range. And if we get lucky, depending on everything that works out here, we could potentially go up to about this mid $7 range. So again, in the future, from May 27th onward, I will be looking for this thing to break above 265 and see if we can't make a little push up to about 475, and hopefully we can break above that range and just test out these areas. Overall, we will start getting some strong resistance around that $6 range, and can't really complain on a 400%, well, not 400%, 300% return if it would go up to that point. So we will see. And I mean, nothing is guaranteed ever. So that's why you just got to keep moving that stop loss up. So that is ticker NBRV. All right, Todd. That is all I have for today. We are approaching the bell. We have 25 minutes, and we have to see what the day brings us.
What the day gives us.
Yep. So other than that, guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Remember, just call that number at the bottom of the screen. Send us your text messages asking like legitimate questions about stocks, and we'll do our best to answer them for y'all. So we appreciate y'all. Take care, and we will catch y'all in the next one.